The engine now says you are in quite significant trouble.
Just 13 moves into the game, and that's the assessment from Peter Svidler, and really it's an understatement. Gukesh D, reigning world champion, is all but lost. This is incredible. It's the Sinquefield Cup, round one, the tournament that brought you Magnus Hans 3 years ago when the whole chess cheating scandal kicked off. This year less spicy, but not on the board. It's kicking off here. Let's check out this game. It starts with an Imzo Indian as Gukesh develops with a whoosh. This is a main line here, and look at that, by the way. 8 minutes spent on castles. This is a bit strange. Look at the time management here. We get this quirky little line where you could take different pieces. Again, a lot of time burnt. Now we see the bishop back up here. 20 minutes down already. Knight f3 played. The centre under fire as the c pawn advances. And after castles, a6 hinting at b5. We get takes on c5 here. The queens leave the board. Looks like a Magnus endgame, and now we get takes on c5. You wouldn't want to be pushing anytime soon, losing a pawn en croissant. Now we see the bishop back up. Looks weird, but it's headed to a new diagonal, so the seahorse is spawned. Everything looking normal, right? And before you can say
mushrooms,
the pawn advances. It's move 13, and it's right here, right now, that Gukesh goes wrong, finds himself basically lost. Where would you stick the bishop in this position? The right square is e7. It's just where it belongs, and we're going to see why. If you'd have stuck it here, well done. You're playing like a reigning world chess champion, so fear not. Bishop b2 now played. How can this be lost already? You're about to find out. Say you go here, not played, looks natural to try and bring the rook, then maybe nudge back to e8 with the bishop. Well, now there's knight b5. Where did that come from? Knight e4 also strong because this d6 square is so tender. Bishop's not covering. And now the reason this works is that after captures you can take here. Pawn takes back, you know there's no bishop takes, and then the bishop drops. If the bishop could have captured there, this tactic doesn't work. There's a rook hanging in the corner. The bishop just does not belong on a7. So we run on with the game. Rook d8 was tried, but once again, a tactical shot that only exists because the bishop is here. Knight e5. Very well done if that occurred to you. Idea being, if you take, you get branked. That's mate. So you can't take. And if you try and do this first, well, it doesn't solve your problems because you still get mated. So you can't touch the knight. Therefore, bishop d7 looks like you're okay, but takes, knight takes. I mean, if you're taken with the rook, you still get a similar position, but with a pair of rooks off the board. The problem is the knight's coming to e4, it's coming to d6. How do you fight against it? In fact, one thing I never checked was bishop b8, but then okay, rook a c1. There can be ideas of this sacrifice in the air if you're not careful. The king can come to the centre. You have many juicy squares to work with. It's a horrible middle game / end game. This one was tried. You do have to be a bit careful now. If you crack on with knight d6, there's the annoying knight a4 hitting this bishop. So this is the better move. Cover knight a4, still pressure this pawn, defended, and now takes. Knight takes, miserable, bishop e5, picking up tempos left, right and centre, and e4 is a wonderful squashing move. The bishop now backs up. Here Prague doesn't even allow it, just keeps the pieces on the board. And how about this? Every single piece stuck on the Etienne back row. I mean, what a miserable picture. It's moments like this where you say, Gukesh D needs a bit of Lotus chess. The only opening explorer you need these days, AI powered. He needs one of their crushing lines, right? Improve these openings. It even connects to your lead chess, your chess.com, brings in your games, helps you understand how bad you suck, but also how to patch your openings, right? I absolutely love it. Gukesh needs it. Prague looks like he's been preparing with it. Link in the description. Check it out. It really is incredible. Plus free to get started. This one's now pressured, and after the bishop comes to d6, desperate for some activity, we see more tactics related to the back rank. No takes. You get mated. So bishop e7. Finally, it hits the promised land, but it took 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to get there. Meanwhile, look at the dominant white position. The damage is done, and it finally tells. The knight is hit twice, and what do? It's also defending a pawn which is attacked. So this was played in the game, giving the pawn, going for activity. You could even invade with the rook here, but Prague nudges back with the bishop. Looks very weird at first, but we're going to see his point, because g4 was played. Now rook c1 hitting the knight encourages it forward, and you're not losing a tempo with the bishop attacked on e2. It already retreated, so it allows you to play the move immediately of pawn a4. This is how the game proceeded. If you capture, rook c4 wins a piece. Clinical stuff by Prague. The stinky f6 was played. Never play it, says Ben Feingold. Pawn e5 in response, not letting the knight get cementoed. And after knight a7, there's a stinky piece, a real skunker. We get this exchange of bishops, potentially. The knight hits this square, attacking the pawn, plus an x-ray attack with the bishop. So it cracks on here. Pawn recaptures. They're both now low on time, but the position's completely winning for Pragnananda. Luckily, Gukesh has a side hustle going of this Indian boy band. He doesn't have to rely solely on his chess. We love to see it. Now the pawn recaptures, and although the knight can centralize, rook d1, rook b8 counterattack. When this guy retreats here, we actually see a resigns on move 36, because the knight's under fire, and if you take the pawn, let's say, you can do so now. Well, the problem is this d7 push, because the rook's overloaded, trying to protect the knight, trying to cover the queening square. You actually have to start giving pieces here, or doing something like this. But anyway, knight takes on e6. It really is hopelessly lost. Too many threats. Absolute mauling there. Poor Gukesh. Hopefully he can bounce back with a stronger opening soon. And have a look at the video on screen in case you missed the game where he was lost in 11 moves recently. Hope you enjoyed this one. Do smash subscribe if you did, and see you soon. Cheers.